Well, g'day guys, welcome back to another episode. And quite a while ago I showed how to catch beach worms, and I am finally getting around to showing off how I like to fish them off the beach, my favourite rig. So we'll roll the intro, I'll show that off and we'll get fishing. I'm sure we're going to pick up a salmon or two and maybe a jewie if we're very lucky. Let's roll the intro. Get him back. So I've got some lovely big king worms here, which is the type of worm you want if you're chasing the larger species in the surf. And the rig we're going to put them out on is the humble Paternoster, but this is a very versatile rig where you can use it to throw basically anything that you want in the surf. Killies, slabs of fish, all that kind of thing. And there's many ways to do a Paternoster, but this is the way I do it, and I do believe it is the best. And I'll show that off now. If it doesn't show up very well on the camera, I might film this at home just to show it off a bit better. But what we've got is just the swivel that's going to connect to your main line or your wind-on leader. Then I've got about 45 centimeters of 50-pound fluorocarbon. That is to one small dropper loop. Another 45 centimeters to another small dropper loop. And then about 45 centimeters to a little sinker clip. You can just put a loop in this to change out your sinkers just as quickly. I do like these where they're just going to take out a little bit of twist. So that is the basis of it. And the beauty of doing it like this is that you can change out whatever you want to come off the droppers, and you don't have to tie up a whole new dropper. Or if your line gets frayed, you get chopped off by a tailor, you're not going to be going through a whole new rig. All you need to do is tie a new little hook trace. And this is what I'm using today. What we've got is a 4.0 long shank bait holder, about 20 centimeters or so of 50-pound fluoro, just to a swivel. So what we're going to do is, I've got the exact same rig here tied onto my rod. There's the dropper. We're just going to poke him through the eye of the swivel. So he's just sitting on there like that. Put the hook through. And then pull that dropper loop up over the knot of the swivel all the way down, so it's like that. And there you go. You can put ganged hooks off here, you can put single suicide hooks or circle hooks, whatever you like. It's just a really good rig, and we're using 50-pound here, but I use the exact same thing for chasing smaller species in the surf too. Your whiting, your bream, just downsize everything, the line, the hooks, and it works fantastic. Down the bottom I'm using a grapnel sinker, and these are just going to hold very firmly in the sand. When a fish strikes or you pull in, these are just going to bend out of the way. They just hold a bit more firmly than star sinkers, but they work just as well on the bottom. And I don't generally fish bomb sinkers on my heavier gear. I prefer to set it in place, but using a small bomb when I'm targeting bream or whiting is my favourite way to do it. It's a bit more active style of fishing where that sinker will be slowly moving around and you're able to drag it through the gutter and really find where the fish are. And you could do it with this heavy stuff, but I like just putting it out there, having it set firm, wait for the fish to come along. So there you go, that is, it's not original. I'm sure it's been done millions of times around the world. but that is my Paternoster that I like to use off the surf. You make up a couple of these, and all you got to do, I mean, you can make up your hook traces as well, have them stored in your leader wallet, put them on for the occasion, away you go. Right, I'll bait them up. So we do have some lovely fresh beach worms here. I've also got some preserved worms, so I'm going a bit of both, one on each hook. For jewfish, you kind of want to use, I mean, the more the merrier. A lot of worm floating around, a lot of scent coming off it, but I don't have too many. So what I like to do is we're just going to go about 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters there. And if it is the head section, I like also to just pop off his head. Hopefully I'm getting that in camera. There you go, that's a bit of worm I'm going to use, not too massive. Just going to dust him in a bit of sand, give you a bit better grip on him. Yeah. And I'm just going to thread him straight through the middle of the worm till about halfway down the worm. Can be a bit tricky once you put on enough to go over the eye of the hook. But if you just grab it there and just kind of pull down and then push on the worm at the same time, you can start feeding him up the line, just as such. Then I'm just going to poke him through one side, and I'm just going to go through the worm a few times. That's going to allow those bait keepers that are on the bait holders that are on the back of the hook there to do their job. They're going to have a bit of skin to grip onto. And there you go, that is how I'm going to bait it. Going to do the exact same thing with the preserved worm, but I won't show that. I'll get that baited up and we'll get him out there. Right, there we go, two lovely big pieces of worm. Hopefully a little dewy finds, and that would make my day. But a bit of fun with some salmon would be nice as well. So as usual, we've picked a nice gutter where it's got its skinniest point over here, quite a shallow sandbar that deepens out but is still shallow enough for waves to break. So got a nice big exit there, bit of an exit going out there. And it is dead low tide, so we are fishing the tide change for a jew. But because that's the case and there's not enough kind of swell, there's not really enough white water rolling across that center bit there for my liking. I usually like a really narrow bit. So I'm just gonna try and get the bait out there under that bit of foam. See how we go. It doesn't cast the furthest, this Paternoster rig. That is probably its one downfall. With worms, which are quite a light bait, pretty streamlined, you can still get it out pretty far. But once you put pillies on it, slab baits, that kind of thing, it tends to take away from the distance you can cast out. It's probably the one downfall of this rig. But all in all, it's an awesome, very versatile rig. And it goes very well for the smaller stuff, like whiting and bream. We'll have to do a video on whiting soon. And that grapnel sinker, that's in, very firm. Just waiting for any big thuds, or for that sinker to, or for the line to go fully slack, meaning a fish has picked it up and is running towards us, and we'll set the hooks. While we wait for a bite, I've actually got a pretty cool announcement. During my beach cart build video, which I'll link in the description, I said I was getting myself together to start doing some beach fishing charters. Oh, I missed him, that was a good hit. To do some beach fishing charters down here on the Sapphire coast. So I'm proud to announce that the business is up and running. If you want to check it out, you can go to Sapphire Beach Fishing Charters. There's a Facebook business page as well as a Google business page. Check it out, would love to hear from some of yous. But also moving forward with the channel, I'm going to obviously keep up the videos beach fishing, showing off my tricks and tips. There'll be no secrets, but there's going to be plenty more I can teach you in person if you're keen to come and fish the Sapphire Coast with me. That was quite a nice bite. Oh, got a couple of little touches. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, bit of weight with the head shakes and all that. Oh, I'd say you might have me in a bit of weed with how heavy this is feeling. And I do say we've probably got a salmon, just from the amount of head shakes there. They kind of do a lot more head shakes than a Jew. A Jew will do big head shakes, but not lots of them. In my experience anyways. You can kind of tell when it's a salmon. I'd love to be proven wrong here. Let's see what we got. Nope, we got a salmon. Actually, we might have, look at this. I think we've got a double header. Look at that. No wonder it felt a bit strange. I thought it was stuck in some weed, but it was two salmon fighting against each other. There you bloody go. And they have made a right royal mess of the rig, but that's all right. Bit of fun, the old double header. You'll beauty. Well, you've got a pretty chunky one and his little brother. There you go. I'll unhook them, we'll get them back, get a couple baits on, and I guess that's good proof that the preserved worm works just like the fresh worm. Beautiful. And I'll just quickly go over a couple things with the Paternoster. Just with the lengths, you generally want to make enough space between your sinker and your bottom hook and have this hook tray shorter so it can't get tangled. These are the two hooks. They would be able to hook onto each other, but they just don't. They generally don't, because with the wash they're all going to be going the same way. So you just want to make sure that your hooks are far enough away from your top swivel and your sinker, and you should be good. Very, very occasionally they might tangle together. Alright, back out there. Might be a bit of a salmon fest here. That's alright. Alright, so just out into that frothy water, just at the drop off behind the sandbar there. And I do like holding onto the rod when beach fishing. You do catch more fish, but this rig can definitely go in a rod holder as well. With this style hooks, the non-circle hooks and gang hooks, but gang hooks do work a little bit better when putting a rod in a rod holder. But unfortunately, it's very tricky to thread a worm onto a circle hook. It can be done, but it's just a bit of a pain in the butt. Oh, that was a better bite. And we got him. So we had a few small bites about a minute ago, and you just got to be patient and leave them. Wait for that better bite, especially with these grapnel sinkers, because all you're going to do is break the arms free, and then your bait's going to kind of be drifting instead of sitting in one area. And what do we have here? We've got a small shovel-nosed shark, I believe. Or is it a ray? No, a ray. There you go. Not what we're after. That's all right. I'll get the hook out of him and send him back. And of course, you've got to be a bit careful with the old stingray because of the spine. May as well show you how I like to hold these little brown ones. What I'm actually going to do, they won't bite, so I actually put my finger in his mouth, and it kind of gives you a bit of something to grab onto and just pinch him between the eyes. Because his dingo's all the way down there, halfway along his tail, so he's got no chance to get you. See ya. Well guys, we've got rain moving in and the light fading, so the footage is going to start looking pretty rough, I reckon. Hopefully we can get one more for you, or one or two more for you. But I'll quickly just go over the gear, and this is actually one of the charter combos, where this is the heavier one. This is a 13-foot 8 to 20 kilo Penn Prevail 2, and they're pretty fantastic rods for the price. I've got that matched up with a 6500 spin fisher, and I'm actually testing out, or I've been testing out, the new Penn Slammer braid. So this has got 50 pound on it. I'm pretty happy with it. Performs pretty well for their first braid. And as usual, there's links in the description if you want to pick up any of the gear, from the swivels down to the hooks, fluoro, reel. It'll be down in the description from the legends at Boss Outdoor, who have been very helpful the last couple of months in supporting the channel and also getting me going with this charter, which I am stoked about. Just had a little touch. Will he come back? Yeah, there's one. And we've got him. Nice. Oh, nice bit of weight there. I'd say we've got, yeah, another salmon. Just saw him jump out the back. I wonder if he's got both baits in his mouth here. It feels a little odd. He feels very heavy. Well, there you go. This will be the last fish, fellas. And I've got a few worms left. I'm just wondering whether to come back in the morning and chase a few whiting. Now, we'll see how we go. We'll get this fella in first. Oh, off he goes. Jesus. He doesn't like the look of that shore. Here he comes. Yeah, he is tangled up. I thought something was going on. Felt very heavy, so he's been, I think he's swallowed the hook. Oh no, he's been foul hooked in the side. I dare say that's fallen out of his mouth and then got him in the side. Well, there we go, another beautiful little salmon in the fading light. Great sport. And it's about that size and smaller, that if you wanted to try and eat one, that's about what you're after. But anyways, I'm going to pop him back. I'm going to say thanks for watching. Come check out the charter if you're interested in coming for a fish down here. We won't just chase salmon, there's plenty of other things to catch. But anyways, I'll see you in the next episode.